Good evening, folks. You are live with Ali and Reese on We Are the Girls in Claret and Blue. If you can't tell, I'm Ali, and that's Reese. Welcome back. It feels like it's been an absolute age since we last talked to you guys about West Ham women, and boy, has a lot been going on since we were last on the show. It's been nearly a month since I've seen a West Ham women's game, so I'm definitely getting a bit of withdrawal. I don't know about you, Reese.
Yeah, I am. I've been waiting patiently, counting down the days on the calendar, and then it got postponed, so that annoyed me even more. So I've had to count even more days on the calendar this week.
Yeah. So we've the first talking point has got to be about our transfer window. There has been some coming goings at Rush Green, and one of the biggest shocks and disappointments, shall we say, is the fact that we have lost Brooke Hendricks over to the NWSL. Reese, how are we feeling?
With Brooke, I remember when we signed Grace, and I thought, this is now we've got four really solid centre backs, and I thought we was going to keep Brooke, but I think Brooke deserves this move because she has been brilliant for us. I think she's been, for me, she's been our best player since we've turned professional. The partnership she had with Gilly was amazing, and I think one of the strongest in the league. So she's going to be a massive loss. But also, I know normally Pamela watches the show. So if you're watching, well done, Brooke, on the move, and we wish you the best for the future. And thank you for everything we've done for West Ham.
Absolutely. You can't fault Brooke. She's going across to Washington Spirit, who are a fairly decent NWSL team. And it's to pursue her dream to play for her country, because they don't really look at the US talent outside of America. So she wants to go play for her country. This is her best shot, but we are definitely going to miss her, because you could always count on Brooke being there for the last ditch tackles, the last properly getting stuck in to defend, and big shoes are going to have to fill for our defenders.
I'll tell you what, Ali, I'm now really, really worried about our defence, to be honest.
Absolutely, because Brooke was always the one you could count on, and like you said, her partnership with Gilly was something special, and now what are we going to do?
I think maybe one player that's already in the team that could maybe step up to them shoes, just through watching the past few games, and I've seen a lot of the last ditch players from Laura Vetterline.
Absolutely.
I think she could maybe fill that role, and I think as well with Grace, I think it's going to take her time to adjust to the league and maybe a bit of the strength of the league. But I think it's important to talk about how big this signing is, because if I'm right, she's been captain for the England youth team. And when I spoke about, in December, I was speaking a lot about Eni Aluko, that would be the player I want for the big name signing. I actually think a player like this is bigger, because this could be, as long as Grace stays with us, in 5 years' time, she could not only be West Ham captain, but she could be England senior captain, because by then I think Steph Houghton would have retired. And it's also important for me, actually, on both sides of the club as well, because if Declan Rice stays with us, we could have both England captains.
Oh, the wishful thinking. Which brings us on to our next point, in the fact that we have signed, as Reese has mentioned, Grace Fisk over from the States. She's been in the collegiate system over in the States, and she has been very well recognised under that. And like you said, she's been the under-20s captain. She's got international experience, and it's going to be interesting to see how she's going to slot into West Ham. Hopefully she'll be going all guns blazing, because she's going to have to, because it's going to be a tough first game for her against Tottenham if she starts, and it's about getting that partnership built up with Gilly quite quickly.
And Laura, because we play three centre backs now, don't we?
Yes, absolutely. So that's going to be a huge thing for her. And also, we've signed another young player, haven't we, Reese?
Yeah, Philippa Walling.
Yeah, I'm going to let you say that one.
Now this one interests me actually because she's a left back, but I actually think we're going to deploy her with our new system as a left wing back. I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about Philippa, not as much as I do about Grace. I know from her former club she's very highly rated, but it's going to be interesting to see how she adjusts the league, and she's got to adjust very quickly and so is Grace, because not only have we just lost a big player at centre back, but we are also on a run of form with winning, and we've got a big game against Tottenham, because I think we're 3 points behind Tottenham, and with our 2 games in hand, if we get them 3 points, that's then a chance to get a really big gap on them.
Well, that's it. It's also because we do have 2 games in hand, and also we're only, I think it's 5 points short of fourth. So if we can use those 2, I'm an optimist. If we can use those 2 games,
which is above Manchester United.
I wasn't going to mention them tonight. You started that. No, but that is a huge advantage we have in the fact that we do have 2 games in hand. But I wouldn't bank on the results because it is Everton, and even though Bristol have had a poor season so far, they did pull off a shock victory on Sunday, so they are not a team to be underestimated. I think we could do it.
I think as well. I was going to mention this before the game got called off, and with the preview with Everton. I think right now Everton are maybe the side that all of the clubs like us look up to in terms of the league. And I think with 2 young signings, I think we're trying to build something for the future now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Matt Beard is really good at nurturing young talent. So it's fascinating to see how he does that. So if he can bring out the best in Grace.
I mean, Alicia improved a hell of a lot last year. I mean, she was brilliant to start off with, but I thought she became a different player towards the end of the season.
Absolutely. Matt is very technical, and I believe his coaching style does bring out the best in the young players, if they listen to him. Because I do remember Raf once saying that they can hear him on the pitch, they just tend to ignore him half of the half of them don't understand him, and the other half just ignore him, even though they do understand him. So there is, been a huge movement across the entire league as a whole. One of the big surprises maybe that came through was Izzy Christensen coming back from Lyon back into the league.
Yeah, I would have expected her maybe to go to either to return at Manchester City or go to the team down the road from Manchester City. I'm not going to mention just in case I get told off by Ali tonight.
There was no telling off, but you always say that I shouldn't because I riled them up, which is fair I do.
Yeah, I know, I'm doing it.
So that was a huge thing, and she was supposed to make her debut back against us, but obviously with the flu outbreak, her debut now. I don't actually know who Everton are playing.
Manchester City away.
There you go, man. That's it. Oh yeah, because we're going to it on Saturday, so I get to go to that game, and then I'm coming down for the Tottenham game on Sunday. So it's actually interesting that her first return to the club is going to be her former club.
It's going to be interesting as well to see how much she improves Everton, because they're doing really well in the league, and that for me could be the signing which could make them pip Manchester United for the place in fourth.
Absolutely. Again, they also have a game in hand, though it is against us. Actually, no, they have a game against Chelsea as well in hand, so they also have 2 games in hand. Pete's like, I will see you there. Yes, you will. Yep, as Matthew said, we've got a good chance of us both winning twice, both the men and the women, this weekend. I do like a good 6-point weekend.
I mean, I remember just to tell the viewers, like a month ago, with David Moyes, I remember saying to Ali, I'd take him back, and Ali just laughed at me. So I think I am maybe, well, not right now, but beforehand was only one of one of the only West Ham fans that would take David Moyes back.
I still don't want him.
Oh, come on, Ali. Be a bit positive tonight about the men's team.
I know I am positive about the men's team. I just don't like David Moyes as a manager.
See, I'm pretty opposite. We've discussed this before. I think he's brilliant.
Sure. I just don't. And also, I would like to point out, West Ham fans, please do not get yourself excited in the fact that we beat a very poor Bournemouth 4-0 and that we just about beat Gillingham 2-0.
Somebody's got the ump.
I don't know. They're talking like he's the second coming of Christ. I'm like, we beat 2 lower teams. Wait until we go up against Liverpool, then we can start praising.
Yeah, high expectations.
Absolutely. And another piece of news, getting back onto the women's team, that is going to probably come to most West Ham fans as a I don't know, like probably half disappointment, half relief, is the fact that Australia have released their internationals to qualify for the Olympics, which means that the blessed Sam Kerr will not be available for the West Ham game in February, which I, for one, am grateful for.
Well, I'm grateful that she's not playing against us, but I'm slightly disappointed because I've actually always wanted to meet Sam Kerr. So,
well, not exactly. I'm disappointed I won't get to see her play, but I'm very excited by the fact that she will be playing against us.
Then again, on Sunday, I watched the Chelsea game, and I thought if Grace Maloney didn't get sent off, I thought Reading could have won that game because they really did give them a really good fight.
Absolutely. And it did annoy me that, as per usual, the conversation was all about the fact that, Sam Kerr, of course she's going to dominate them. Of course she's going to. The thing is, Reading went up first. She was absolutely, the Reading, like Faz, you can't, put down Farrell Williams because she's still one of the greatest players ever. And if she's going to be in that yard box, of course she's going to score from there. But you're right, the turning point was Grace Maloney getting sent off because they had to change their formation greatly, put in their other goalkeeper who is just as good, but when they're down a player and they think, of course Chelsea were going to capitalise. I
think as well with this Sam Kerr thing, my personal opinion is she's going to do well, but I don't think she's going to go to anywhere near the amounts of Miedema.
Well, that's exactly it. The problem with the WSL is we get all excited about these big player names, big names, and I've yet to see one do well. Carly Lloyd at Man City didn't particularly do very much. Crystal Dunn at Chelsea didn't really do much. Ali Long played one game for Chelsea and then got sent back to the States. So it will be interesting to see if it can be sustained rather than it just be a showpiece.
You know as well, I was going to mention this as well. With this Brooke Hendricks departure, one thing that could come of it for us is, I think now if there's any young American talent, the FAWCL will attract them, but I think we will, because if Brooke gets into that national team, they'll go, well, look what Matt Beard and West Ham done for Brooke Hendricks. Go over there.
Exactly. I think also Matt is quite highly regarded in the States, having been the Boston Breakers manager. So I do think you're right that we might get some hotshot, up-and-coming talent from the US.
It's nice to be positive about a West Ham side for once.
I'm always positive about the West Ham side.
I know we are, but we're online with the men's team. It's like negative every week now.
That's true. That is true. Right, so let's talk about the week ahead. Big game.
The FA Cup draw. We haven't mentioned that.
We'll do that afterwards.
Okay.
That was on the list, but it's up the next afterwards. All right, Tottenham. Talking about the big game against Tottenham. We cannot lose to Tottenham again.
Well, we cannot, because for anybody that doesn't know, if we lose on Sunday, it will absolutely destroy my 18th birthday on the Monday.
Exactly. God, you're 18. I turned 30 this year. You make me feel very old. But yes, you're right. We cannot lose to Tottenham again. I have some wonderful. Sorry, I've got a very dirty look from my girlfriend who is older than me when I said that I feel very turning 30. I have some stats for us. Thank you to our regular impartial statistician, Peter. The last time we beat Tottenham was in 2016 in the women's game. Yes. This season, they've beaten us in the last 4 meetings. I think the last one was a couple of seasons ago. But they beat us 2-1, 2-0, 2-2, and then beat us on penalties in the Continental Cup. My heart cannot take it if we lose to Tottenham again.
And I can't take another alley rant this season.
Exactly. And Kate can't take another rant for me going on when we come back to Manchester either. So we have to beat Tottenham. And I do think we can do it. I think we've gelled more as a team from the last time that we played them. And that if we keep to the 5 at the back system that we've been doing, we might have a shot. However, we've got to watch those wings.
Definitely. They signed Emma Mitchell on loan from Arsenal, which is a big signing for them. But one thing we said this on the review to the Tottenham game. I think one of the difference makers has departed to Liverpool in them 2 games, which was Rachel Furness. I think she made a difference there. So there's something we can capitalise on. But as well, I think against Tottenham, we always dominated for the first 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we were, in the last 30, we were the less fitter team. And I think both times we maybe did play Tottenham at the wrong time. I think this game comes at the right time for us in terms of we're on that winning run. But one thing that could be a disadvantage is Tottenham played last week, so maybe the match fitness, they've got rid of that rustiness. We haven't yet from the Christmas break. So it's going to be an interesting... Oh, yeah, and also that. And so it's going to be an interesting matchup. But like Ali said, I think it's one we can win.
I definitely do. I think we've got the talent. We've got the our players are on goal scoring form, which I think it's good. It's just our back line. We've got to tighten up our back line.
I think this is going to be... Personally, I think it's going to be 1-0 either way. I've just got that feeling it's going to be a 1-0 game.
Better be us. I can't do it. I can't lose to Tottenham again.
Ali is really desperate to beat Tottenham.
Yes.
And so am I.
It hurts more when we lose to Tottenham. Especially considering they've got 2 of our ex-players.
I'm going to be really interested though to see what we do with our back line now, because I think Laura will go into... Brooke played the central line, the back 3. I think Laura will go there and Grace and Gilly will play either side. Or maybe we go back to the back 4 with Felipe coming in at left back, Grace, Gilly, and then Boonach at right back, maybe.
Yeah, that's the thing. We've not really had a proper left back since Raf. So it'll be interesting to see if that's how Beardy wants to play Arnie left back, if he wants to play as the dedicated left back like Raf was. So that will be of interest. Again, I have some more stats. Goals wise, Spurs have the upper edge on us at 27-19. However, 2 of the last 5 wins against Tottenham, we beat them 3-0. As Pete says, a little hope to cling to.
Ali, can we be more positive about this game, please?
No. Just that I desperately want us to win it.
Everybody's got that Christmas cheer still, and Ali's just trying to ruin it, guys.
No, not at all. So, now we can talk about the FA Cup draw. A bit of a tough one. It's got to be said, out of all the draws, it wasn't...
Well, it's the toughest one.
It is one of the toughest ones. So we've got Arsenal, if in case anybody doesn't know, at home. So what do you think, Reece? What are our chances?
I think they're slim, to be honest, but I've got really big confidence of the way we played against them the first time. I think the only thing that really does worry me is we're always better away normally than we are at home, which I think we've changed up a bit this season. However, you know, the magic of the FA Cup, you never know what's going to happen, and hopefully the FA Cup luck is with us on the day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's one of those things where it depends on how seriously, to be honest, how Arsenal want to take it.
I think as well how seriously we want to take it as well, because we may decide to concentrate on the league. It's only the early round of the FA Cup, and we've got one tough draw against Arsenal, and you never know. You looking at the rounds, you could come up against another 2 tough teams later on.
That is true. Pete has suggested that we get the lasagna from that infamous match, which, you know, well, bad idea. So, what are going to be our biggest competition-wise in regards to Arsenal? What have we got to watch out for? I mean, I think I can honestly answer the one player we need to watch out for, but what are the pitfalls that we get into with Arsenal that we need to avoid?
I think in the first game, which was first day of the season, was when we hit them on our higher press, we really did cause them problems off the ball. We got the ball back and then we quickly countered. I think we need to do more with that. I think our trouble was we had that 20-minute spell, if I'm right, where Arsenal scored 2 goals, and I think we didn't use that press. We sat back too much and we gave them too much respect. However, we didn't play against Miedema, so I think it's going to be a little bit of a balance again.
Yes, yes, because this is it's the goal in the Bristol defeat. They a victory. They ended up she had something to do with 10 of the 11 goals, and the only reason she didn't have anything to do with the 11th is because she'd been subbed off. So she's definitely going to be a worry. But what is going to intrigue me is when Arsenal played Man City last season in the Continental Cup final, she was on the bench, and because I don't know why he did that, and I think his tactic might have been that put her on fresh legs when everybody else is tired, but it didn't really work. It seems that she likes to have her memento at the beginning. So I'm kind of hoping that he does that. He puts her on the bench, and
I think with Joe, looking at this point of view, I think he's going to take this game in the FA Cup seriously, because when you look at the league, they're 4 points clear. I think if Chelsea win their game in hand, they've still got that 1 point lead now. But also if they slip up in the league and then say Chelsea, for example, win the league, then this is a cup that Joe can win as well, and it's kind of we've still won that trophy this year, and I think he may take this game seriously because of that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So it's going to be one of the toughest rounds. Let's talk about a couple of the other matchups. Another Manchester derby.
This FA Cup draw, and every FA draw now is really fixed. I'm fed up of watching the Manchester derby every time there's a cup draw now.
The thing is, though, it used to be, and I don't know if it's going to be now that the Manchester derby replaces this, but it used to be you could guarantee that Manchester City would play Chelsea at Kingsmeadow in the semi-final. Like, you could guarantee it. You could put money on it that the last few, in regards to the Continental Cup and the FA Cup, that the semi-final, it would be Manchester City versus Chelsea down at Kingsmeadow. And the only difference last season was it was at home for Man City instead of at Kingsmeadow.
Yeah,
there is a stat. If you go on Sophie Lawson, she's got a stat on it, but it was pretty much you could guarantee. So I don't know if the derby's going to replace that.
I think so. Because I think as well with the first day of the season, there was a London derby, a Manchester derby, and another big game. So
yeah, it's just 2 London derbies because it was Chelsea, Tottenham.
Yeah, that's it.
Manchester derby, and then us versus Arsenal.
So I think these fixture arrangements and the cup draws may be a bit fixed, Ali.
Again, Pete's come up with all the great ideas for us. He goes, defend, take it to pens. Arsenal lost the last 2 shootouts to City in the Continental Cup, and then Brighton. So
Pete for manager.
So it might work in our favour if we
Hold on, Ali, I've just got to go and respond to my mum screaming at me.
Wait a minute, I've got to fill the time. I'm not very good at that. He's left me now. Now I might have nothing to talk about. Yeah, thankfully you can come and co-host.
No, I bloody can't. I'm poorly.
Yeah, Reese is so as many of you can see, we've been talking about our transfers and we are miss old Brooke. And he's back. I'm not very good at filling for time here, you.
Sorry, Ali, what was that?
I said I'm not very good at filling for time. Can't get the staff these days. Right. So, what other fixtures have come up in the FA Cup that are going to be interesting?
Oh, I've got to give this a mention. A team I used to do a bit of media work for, Billericay. Kim Costa is her name, and they've got Lewis away, so that's a massive. That's if they beat Actonians, because the game in the third round got postponed due to a waterlogged pitch, I think. So yeah, that could be a massive game for Kim, and I think she might be watching tonight.
Oh, speaking of there's been some drama in the women's football, which is very rarely happens. But one of the games got postponed that was in the FA Cup round, got postponed on Sunday, again due to a waterlogged pitch. And then upon investigating, they found that the drain had been covered with a brick wrapped in cloth. So it looks like it was done on purpose. Now, they don't know if it was done on purpose because of the women's game or if it was done because of the men's game, because they play on the same pitch. It was AFC filed. But yes, it's now become like a scandalo that their pitch may have been I don't know what the word is. Tampered with on purpose.
It's a really weird dynamic just to think I'm going to go and get a brick, put a cloth, and get the game called off.
I know, but apparently, yeah, they're the groundsmen are investigating on the individual or individuals that. So back to West Ham, we've got a few tough games coming up because it's Tottenham next week, and then the week after it's Brighton, who we have got a good track record against. That let's not count the game last season.
Don't speak too soon, Ali.
I know. And Brighton, and then it's is it Chelsea after Brighton?
No, it's Arsenal in the FA Cup.
Arsenal in the FA Cup, and then it's Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have the biggest squad to do as much squad rotation as I'm sure Matt would like. So, looking at the bigger picture in the upcoming weeks, what should we be doing?
Pretty simple, winning all our games and hopefully continuing our good run. I think maybe one more signing just to boost up the squads. For me, I would like maybe another defensive option in centre back, because I think if we're playing with that back three, I think we'll need one more just for that cover. But also one player I would really like to see a sign. I said this last year during the summer window as well. I would quite like to see Umatong of Brighton join us. I think with sometimes the way we play with the central striker up front in Thomas, I think Umatong would give us that option to have a player maybe on the bench or with Thomas that is like the same as Martha. And I think Leon has been doing better this year on the wing, so I think that would give us more of an option up front.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree. I think we need. See, I don't know if I want another defensive midfielder, because a lot of our midfielders go on the.
Yeah, that is a really good shout, Ali.
So I'd maybe have someone that's more of a defensive mid. I haven't got anybody in mind, but having that sort of thing. Again, Pete's got to tell us, we have Spurs away, Brighton at home, Arsenal at home, Chelsea away, City at home. Those are our next 5 games.
It's going to be a tough 5 games.
Just a little. But yeah, so I would like maybe a more defensive midfielder, because all of our midfielders seem to be more on the attacking thing. But you're right, I think we need one more signing just to give ourselves a bit more depth, and then West Ham's ready to conquer the world.
Hopefully, we'll be able to conquer the top 4 race as well.
Yeah, I would like that. I think we could do it. I think, you know, we've got a shot.
The optimism is what kills us normally, though, Ali.
This is true. This is true. You don't become a West Ham fan for victories. So, finally, let's talk about a spotlight on a player. Reese, who would you like to spotlight?
I'm trying to remember who we've already done now. Have we done Cho yet?
We have not.
There we go. There's one. Ali, you start.
Well, Cho is a great player for us. If nothing else, she'll be always remembered for that penalty in the Reading semi-final. Just the fact that she was like up there smiling as if she didn't have a care in the world, and just bang straight past the goalkeeper, and it was fantastic. But she has been a brilliant signing for us. She's very technical. She is again in the midfield. Again, she's in the attacking midfield sort of arena. She's very technical and can get past some of the best defenders, and is always there to feed the ball. So even if she's not scoring, she's very good at feeding the ball to our players that are going to score.
I think with Cho, when she joined in January, right start was doing all like a really big midfielder role, and was under a lot of pressure because of the fantastic work she was doing. And I think Cho took a bit of that pressure off, but also built a really strong partnership. She improved our midfield a whole of a lot, and I think she was actually our biggest signing at the time in January. Like you said, a great technical player who's also improved our midfield a lot and continued that throughout the season this year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think she's going to keep improving and keep being brilliant for us. I think that's all we've got time for this week. I thank my co-host Reese again. Next week, we will be rehashing the Tottenham game, looking forward to the Brighton game, as well as all the things that are happening in the league. Oh yes, my father has joined us and has reminded me to show off my Christmas present to parents. Looks like a normal claret and blue claret polo shirt. I would try and turn around and show you, but there is a photo on my Twitter. It has all of the players on the back to stop me buying so many football shirts. Let's see if that works. I don't think it will, but
I think Ali's onto a business model as well with that. That's fantastic.
So it was all down to my mother and father. But yes, so also send us what you got West Ham related for Christmas, and we might give you a shout out on the show next week. Which is a reminder that if it goes well, it will be the standard half an hour. If we lose to Tottenham again, we'll be here.
It'll be an hour and a half.
We'll be here till next Christmas. But that's all from me. So it's a good night from me.
A good night for me, and thanks, Ali, for hosting tonight.
Good night, guys.